As a member of the working class, I often find myself without spare time and energy to express myself creatively, which makes the current tech trend of using artificial intelligence to create new artworks distressing. And I'm not alone in that feeling. Full time creative workers are even more threatened as they rely on expressing themselves creatively to stay afloat. You may have seen this quote from Joanna Maciejewska circulating online. You know what the biggest problem with pushing all things AI is? Wrong direction. I want AI to do my laundry and dishes so that I can do art and writing, not for AI to do my art and writing so that I can do my laundry and dishes. End quote. If I took the time to interview my fellow artists, I know that they would share my sentiments about the use of AI to create art. For the sake of this video, I'm referring to the tech as AI, despite the fact that it's not an intelligence. AI, as we know it today, is merely complex software. It is not capable of independent thought, and therefore cannot be considered AI. If prompted on its intelligence, then ChatGPT will respond. I can generate responses based on the input I receive and the patterns I've learned from the data, but I don't possess consciousness or independent thought in the way humans do. My responses are determined by algorithms and patterns in the text data that I've been trained on. End quote. AI development and its use have exploded the past few years, and the implications of its use is becoming increasingly concerning. As a child, science fiction would often paint AI as a villain, a hyper-intelligent computer that decides to exterminate the human race when it sees how harmful we are to our world and each other. While the AI we know today is not the dangerous villain of science fiction, it is still being used in harmful ways. It is still a villain in my eyes. Let's talk about the issue. Currently, a majority of the applications for AI are set to replace creative workers, including stock photographers, musicians, and graphic artists. But how does AI or image generation software work? Image generation works by scraping the internet for images that have text or alt text to create a dataset as a basis for image generation. The software is then trained with a process called diffusion, where the AI will be shown increasingly blurry images and taught how to reconstruct the original image out of the noise. In time, the software is able to create entirely new images. But this process relies entirely on stealing billions of images that have already been posted online. AI-made art is made unethically. It is made by stealing from people who have spent years honing their craft. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Increasingly, it's being used maliciously to create media non-consensually. Whether that be to spread misinformation or create explicit media, it's clear that the world is not made better by its presence. Additionally, AI operations demand significant resources from server farms, which can have detrimental effects on the environment. Current estimates for 2025 show that 3% of all global carbon emissions will come from server farms. These costs are only growing as the industry begins to prioritize expansion over efficiency. Rough estimates based on current expansion show that server farms could be responsible for 14% of all emissions by 2040. 10 server farms alone could consume the electricity of 250,000 homes. Taking this into consideration, it's likely that companies in need of server farms will search for low-income areas where land, water, and electricity are more affordable, which will lead to displacement and gentrification of the area. If we look at the current resource usage for Bitcoin server mines, often termed mining farms, we can see that Greenidge, a Bitcoin mining company in Dresden, New York, uses 500,000 cubic meters of water a day on water cooling. The water is returned to Lake Seneca at 42 degrees Celsius, which is 20 degrees above what the native fish species can tolerate. Additionally, this shift in temperature encourages the growth of toxic algae, which makes the body of water unusable without further treatment. On top of this, the server farm in Adel, Georgia, reportedly produces noise 24 hours a day and can be heard up to 5 miles away. Making matters worse, the mining operation provides little to no work for the town other than security for the facility. And Adel, Georgia isn't the only one with concerns about crypto mines. The city of Houston, Texas constructed 2 nuclear reactors at Plant Vogtle, and the strain on their grid is so immense that they're going to have to construct another, a project that will be funded by Texas taxpayers. Originally, I had planned on having the website Synthesia generate a video for this portion of the script, but it was rejected, stating that it violated their authentic behavior guidelines for impersonation, and then prompted me to create a video with a custom avatar, a service that exists behind a paywall. So instead, here's a recorded clip of the AI's voice speaking, but it's not moving its mouth. Hey, it's editor Anthony here. Gonna talk real quick. So, I submitted an appeal with Synthesia, and they accepted the video. So, without further ado, here's the video I initially was gonna try and show you. Thanks, guys.
I am not a real human being, but my art will be seen by more people in a year than some artists will be seen in their life.
I am not a real human being, but I am responsible for 56 years of human life a year in CO2 pollution.
I am not a real human being, and yet I matter more to the CEOs of America than the 38 million Americans that were food insecure or living in poverty in 2022.
I am not a real human being, but the United States spent $3 billion on my research in 2022. That's half the amount spent on cancer research in 2021. We are not real human beings, but our life matters more than yours.
So who's responsible? Nearly all research done on the use of AI happens in 10 countries, with the top 5 being the United States of America, China, the United Kingdom, Israel, and Canada. The USA does 60% of all cutting-edge research done on AI, largely in California's Silicon Valley, with OpenAI, Google, Meta, and Anthropic being responsible for all of the well-known contenders in the current AI image generation arena. As of 2024, $249 billion of private funding have been raised for research. And the US government is also investing in the technology, spending $3 billion on the tech in 2022 and $500 million in 2023. Now, admittedly, some of the budget in 2023, $65 million, went to the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, which was tasked with creating guidelines, tools, and benchmarks for mitigating risk, with plans including technical guidance on authenticating content made by humans and watermarking AI content. The important thing that I forgot to mention when I was initially recording this is, while we know who's responsible for the existence of the technology, it's only us, the consumer, who can be responsible for making sure that their time spent investing in the product is wasted by refusing to use it. That's the important point I wanted to make that I somewhat failed to earlier. That's all that I prepared today. So I want to thank you for watching, and if you liked this video, please like or subscribe. Have a nice day.